Greetings to all. I am Dr. Arivazhagan, Professor of Amet Business School. Today we are going to cover about warehouses and its concept. Basically, when we talk about warehouse, it's nothing but the storage place where you can utilize for multi-purpose. Let's go through the concept. In this session, we are going to cover about logistics process and introduction. See, basically in the introduction, I will tell you what are the process happen to be in the logistics, and then what is the part of your warehouse in it, and then we are going to define what is warehouse. Then we have the points to be remembered on concentrating on warehouse and what is the need of your warehouse and why it is needed, and what is the warehouse site selection, because everywhere wherever you want, suppose for example, even if you want to select a shirt or select a pant, you get into the stores and look at different varieties, including your specification about the cloth and what is the height and structure and what kind of style you want, etc. Everything you are looking at like that. So in warehouse, it's a huge area where you can store a lot of products in it. So the site selection is one of the important component. That is also we are going to say. And then what are the functions of warehouse? So these are the different topics we are going to cover in this session. See, look at the logistics process. The first part of your logistics process, your customer. The customer is the person who consumes your product. So he is the main people who is encouraging your market to customize your product and then hand over or deliver the product to the customer. The next one is the seller. The seller is nothing but a person who is selling your product. So generally it is a process of your online process. Let's say for example, we will take Amazon.com or Flipkart or whatever it is. You are ordering a cell phone, you are a customer. First you are ordering a cell phone by seeing your website and then selecting the product with the specification. Then you are requesting the seller, that is either it may be a Flipkart or it may be Amazon. They are generally the brokers in between. They are not actual sellers. They are getting product from different vendors and selling it to you through certain medias. That is where the seller's role is there. So what happens once you give your product order, then it automatically go to the order processing. In the order processing, it will check which consumer he is providing this particular product, because if you look at the Flipkart or Amazon, you can find different kinds of product, but if you get into the Nokia site, you can get only the Nokia product. But if you get into the Amazon, the Redmi site, you can see only Redmi phone. So like that. But in the vendors like Amazon or Flipkart, etc., they are selling multiple product. That is why once it goes to the order processing, immediately it will go and check whether the product is available, who is the product vendor, etc. So here once the order has been processing, then it will go to the inventory management. The inventory management is nothing but maintaining the stock. How many phones are available, what is the order level, and etc. All those things will be converted into the inventory level. So once the inventory level says yes, the product is available, straight away it goes to the warehouse. So in this warehouse, they are searching where the product lies it and then take out that particular bundle, and then they are telling to the traffic management who is the product deliver person. So once it comes to the traffic management, they will identify the address and etc. which you are given through the website and then given to the transportation department. So once it has been handed over to the transportation department, then straight away they will come to the customer and deliver the product. So again you are receiving your product. This is one cycle. Suppose let's say you have a raw material or a manufacturing company, it's altogether different. So the customer requires, because generally what will happen nowadays, the product will not be ready-madely available. Once they get the order, they will assemble and give it to you. This is a concept of your Dell product. You might have wondered the story of the Dell. See, initially what will happen, in USA there are a lot of products are available like HP computers and Wipro computers, etc. All those things are available, but the customer, if they wants to change an hard disk or they want to adjust their capacity of the storage or the processor speed and etc., it is highly impossible for them. They have to go for another model. But where the Dell has get into the picture and he wants to give the customer oriented computers. What it means that first you specify what you want. I want say 100 GB hard disk. I want 5 GB, I mean the processor, this kind of speed. And what is your internal memory and what kind of hard drive you want, what kind of DVD drive. So all these things you can specify what exactly required by you. Even the monitor size you can specify. Once you order the product, then immediately it will go to the seller and then go to the order processing, then it will go to the inventory management, where they will check whether everything is available or not. If those specified products are available, then it's okay. Otherwise, they will have to purchase again from the seller. Then the inventory management goes to the raw material and check what are the products are available, whether the hard disk is available or the processors available or the monitors available, etc. Then it will go to the production planning. So in the production planning, they will assemble the entire product and then kept it for the checking purpose. Once it has been passed to the manufacturing unit and the manufacturing unit assemble all those products and produce the required product, and then it will come back to the warehouse. In the warehouse again they will check all kind of required specification given by the order. Once it has been done, then it will go to the traffic management, then transportation management and deliver to the customer. So this is the process of your any logistic management. It may be an online or it may be a offline or it may be a deliverable as per the customer requirement. All those things are followed only this process model. So if you look at this is one of the biggest warehouse where you have the products are lying in a rack with the identification and you have a trolley to pull the product and give it to the customer or the required people whomever they want as per the order level. So this is another one like Costco or something. It's like a Costco product, like big selling of your marketing product like consumable like bread, chicken or egg and etc. In the big malls they have such a kind of warehouse where all this product will be stored in different racks and the people will go and collect it and then come to the customer end and get the delivered and the product will be delivered to it. It's basically a bulk kind of purchase. It's not a 1 unit or 2 unit, you have to buy in bulk. So this is another kind of warehouse where you can have the electronic product etc. and that has been stored in different areas with the address, the rack number, the product number and the identification. Whenever the order comes, they will immediately pull down and using the moving vehicle, they will move the product to the warehouse to wherever the vendor requires. This is another kind of warehouse where it's a frozen warehouse where all the frozen products will be stored in it. It will be maintained with -4 degrees centigrade. If you look at this are all the fishing product. Once the fish caught and then it will be put into the frozen warehouse. Then when based on the order, this frozen fishes and whatever the meat and etc. that will be taken into the refrigerator containers and then left to the different countries and where the sales has been taken place. This is also another kind of warehouse. So look at the definition of warehouse. See, basically the warehouse, as I told you, it's a specific place where you have to store the product, and it can be termed as a specific storage area for the goods and materials where they are stored safely and handled with care. Because whenever you store something, it has to be handled with care. Otherwise, if the broken product cannot be sold, it's a loss to the company. And materials may be in the form of raw material or finished goods related to any storage cycle. So the warehouse has a set of activities that are involved in receiving and storing goods and preparing them for reshipment. What exactly the reshipment is? Nothing but the warehouse where you have the raw material, then the manufacturing company collect the raw material from the warehouse and manufacture the product. Then after the manufacturing the product, again the finished product come back to the warehouse where it has been stored for shipment. That is what we call it as a reshipment. So what are the basic concept of your warehouse? Number one is the storage should be, the space must be utilized efficiently, because for example, I am having a product of 2 by 2 inch 2 by 2 meters or 2 by 2 feet product. If I hire a room called a 10 by 20, then what is the use of it? Because I am storing utilizing only a small space, but I am paying high rent. So which is meant that you have to first assess what you are going to store in a warehouse and what kind of products you are going to utilize by that storage. So the storage space must be used efficiently. Then you have to have a skilled labor must be therefore easily accessible. Why we are saying is that unless the product has been identified by the people, you cannot take out the product accurately and within the short span of time. So the people should be in the skilled labor, so that the identification of product and as well as the shipment will be easy for them once you have a clear warehouse. The next one is, it should be spacious enough for workers to access a goods easily. What it means that the movement of goods should be easy. It should not be what I can call constrained manner. It has to have enough space to move the product in and out and then keep it safely and then move it safely. That is what we need, the space enough for workers to access the goods easily. The next one is, the transportation cost must be minimal. What exactly it means that the warehouse where you are having it should give a minimum transportation while moving the product. For example, a customer orders a product and they will come and collect from the warehouse. If your warehouse is far away from the city or something, the immediate delivery is not possible. So in such a case, you cannot deliver the product immediately. So you have to have your warehouse easy accessibility, and also the transportation facility should be available. The access must be utilized to their highest efficiency, because if the transportation cost and as well as the storage cost very high, then it is not called as a efficient warehouse. Whenever you want to have any product, you have to maintain the minimum cost so that it can be utilized with the highest efficiency. Then order filling time must be minimized. What exactly the order filling time means? If the raw material get into the warehouse, you have to fill the form. What is the material? What is the order number? What is the quantity? Etc. Everything you have to fill. And at the same time, if you are shipping out certain product, then the same thing has to be happen again. So if you have a computerized system or something, then it will give you minimum time, and automatically, because all the products have been preloaded, you have to just select the product and select the quantity and print the material. So that should be there. Then operating cost must be reduced. The operating cost is one of the biggest criteria for any product. If you look at, say, Coca-Cola, if you want to produce a Coca-Cola, the tin of Coca-Cola is only 99 pies, but if you look at the storage, if you look at the container and where it has been stored and how it has been shipped, how many brokers are involved and how many vehicles are involved, how we are transporting, all these things will keep adding and finally end up with 20 rupees or 30 rupees. So that is where the cost should be minimized so that the product can be delivered with the small amount to the customer. Why you need a warehouse? Then one is providing a basic storage. The foremost objective of any warehouse is store the product safely, securely and easily accessible format. So the warehouses are store goods and material safely at a reasonable rate. The next one is providing easy accessibility. This is one of the biggest criteria for any warehouse. Provide an easy accessibility for storing goods. Firm plan their warehouses near their business center so that it is become easier for them to store their product and get the raw material. The third one is providing timely delivery of the product. The warehouse ensures timely delivery of the product and goods to the consumers or the customers, where if it is easy for them to access and prompt delivery, that will give a very good feedback from the customer, that will enhance your customer relationship. The next need is creating a time utility. Warehouse will always reduce the time gap between the storing of goods and services available to the customer. So the time gap is nothing but how much travel time you require to deliver the product to the customer. That makes the time gap or the creating time utility. Then minimizing the risk. What exactly the minimizing risk is? The warehouse should give a business center various operating cost, transportation cost should be reduced significantly. This is one of the biggest criteria of your warehouse. You have to minimize the risk also and the safety and the security. The warehouse site selection. How we are selecting the site? See, while selecting the warehouse, you have to see more significant points to consider. Number one, the purpose of warehouse. What kind of product you are going to store? Whether it need reduced temperature or normal temperature is required or heat temperature required. So, based on the requirement, you have to select the warehouse. Then the proximity, the terms of distance between the source of the goods and the end consumer. The source of the goods is nothing but where you are selecting the raw material and you are shifting the raw material from the warehouse, because the raw material has to be supplied to the warehouse by the supplier. So, there also you need minimum traveling time, and shifting of raw material to the manufacturing unit, again that time should be very short, and once the manufacturing product has been done, that has to come back to the warehouse, where also you require the time utility, where the transportation cost should be minimum. So, you have to select a place such a way, and then the condition of the site, where the condition is nothing but the socio-economic conditions, how easily to access by the people, the workers, and as well as the vehicle, whether you have a proper roads and proper water usage and etc., and electricity without any kind of interruption. So, all these things you have to select by the site. The size of available land. That is also one of the biggest criteria. We are not talking about a small warehouse like 10 by 20 feet per room or something like that, one ground floor or something. The warehouse is a big area which converting like it will be in acres, and where you have all kind of facilities should be there. For example, in any industrial areas, if you look at there, the transportation facilities will be available, 24 hours water facility will be available, 24-hour electricity facility will be available. All these things will be provided government. Then only the big industry people will come and hire the warehouse. And then the security. This is one of the biggest criteria for any warehouse. The security should be in such a way where you can say surveillance camera etc. should be there. Apart from that, the government should also provide enough security size with all kind of measures should be given to them, and easy access to the skilled labor, because the skilled labor is most essential thing for any warehouse. They are the people who is operating the warehouse, not the officers, not the manufacturers, or neither by the government nor by the private people. Only the skilled laborers are accessing all kind of raw material, moving the raw material and removing the finishing goods, and then taking their goods into the vehicle. All these things will be happen by the skilled laborers. So, they have to come from home and then do the duty and get back to their home. All these things should be with the minimum distance, so that easy access to the skilled labor is one of the essential. Then the service and easy accessibility. This, as I told you, these are the two criteria which will enhance the labor problem, and then automatically you will get a skilled labor properly and you can have your warehouse efficiently. Let us see what are the warehouse functions. Number one, the warehouse function is receiving the goods. Either it may be a raw material or it may be your finished goods. Then maintaining the records. Once the raw material or finished good gets in, you have to have a record for that with the product code, the specification, where it has been located, how to access it. All these things should be there in the records. Then the identification. As I told you that even if you are mobile, you have to have the identification on that. Then only you can access that particular mobile in the warehouse. Then how we are storing and packing the material. The storage purpose is nothing but it should not be get damaged, and any kind of element, the small hazards like cockroach and etc., that should not enter into the product, and it should be unhygienic. It should be a brand new, so that the inner parts should not be get damaged. And then how we are packing the material, that is also one of the essential part of your warehouse. Then once it has been packing, see sometimes what will happen in the warehouse, there are a lot of things that comes in bulk, that has to be broken into smaller unit to transport to the consumer. That is also one of the part of your criteria of your warehouse. Then the delivery of goods, as I told you, the delivery of the goods should be without any kind of damage, with ease and as well as a secured manner, and then with the proper time. So these are the main functions of your warehouse. Let us look at the first one, the receiving of goods. What exactly the receiving of goods is nothing but the foremost function of a warehouse is to receive the goods from the manufacturer or the supplier. Manufacturer means finished goods, supplier means raw materials, and on receiving issue the receipt for the same. Whether it may be a raw material get into the warehouse, you have to give a receipt to him, this are the product, this are the quantity with the specification we received. And if it is a finishing product goes out, you have to specify what is the order number, what is the manufacturing unit number, and then what is the date of manufacturing. All those things have to be noted down and then give it to outside. So the safety of the goods is the primary responsibility of receiving of goods. The next one is maintaining record. On receiving the goods, the keeper of the house or the concerned authority maintains the record of the received goods and issued receipt to avoid confusion later. Because in warehouse, if you look at, as I told you, a big one where you never identify where the product is unless your records is very clear. If I type a system, okay, Panasonic, this particular number I am having, so I may have a list of identity like with individual number. If I select the number, immediately it has to show which rack and what is the package number, etc. It has to identify. Then only the skill labor go to that particular rack and pick the product and get into the consumer immediately. When in need, this record can be retrieved and checked. If any malpractice happen or some goods failure things are happen or theft has been happen, immediately this record should be available in the system so that the verification and as well as the access of this record will be easy and to be checked immediately. The next one is the identification. It's a duty of the warehouse keeper to segregate the item so that to avoid confusion between the goods from different firms. This identification makes it easier for the warehouse keeper to separate different product of different companies, because the warehouse need not be used by only one company, where the warehouse can be used in multiple companies also, multiple product, multiple company, multiple consumers, even multiple segments, anything is possible. But only thing, the keeper is the key for person who is recording and identifying the product in proper place where it can be easily accessed by the skilled labor. So the identification is one of the foremost and premier duty of the warehouse. Then storing. It is one of the most important function of the warehouse, safety store of goods in the warehouse, and the measures are to be taken to ensure the proper safety of the goods. There are some of the items that are consumed whole year but produced only in a particular season. Example, seasonal fruits. This can be done only by proper storage. If you look at mango, obviously the mangoes are produced only the summer season, but just imagine all kind of juices related to mango or you are receiving at all here. So it may be some of the products, similar apple will be some season where it has to be stored properly, otherwise you cannot get the product. If you look at the supermarket in cities, any product you can receive at any time, only thing is the price may vary from one to another. The reason is that in seasonal time it is lower price, if it is a non-seasonal time the price will be higher. How is it possible? It's possible because of your warehouse condition. If I store the product with the proper condition and safety with the proper temperature, I can utilize it at any point of time. This is the main purpose of your warehouse. The next one is packing. Basically, the packing is one of the biggest facility available in the warehouse, and this packing is one of the packaging to the owners of the goods. The packing can be customized or customed depending upon the size and the quantity is dependent. So if I want 10 in size or 20 in size, I can remove the bulk and separate it 10 quantity or 5 quantity, etc. I can again repack and give it. So the breaking of the bulk is main input for your packing. Normally the products are delivered in the warehouse in bulk. The warehouse keepers break this bulk into small quantities as demanded by the owner. Moreover, the breakup can also be done if it is required by the customer. So it's like small product like Archie products. If you say there are n number of customers or n number of retailers are there, based on the retailer's requirement, all the product has to be separated and then packaged individually with small quantity, large quantity. So this has been done in the warehouse. This is almost one of the biggest purpose how the warehouse giving service to the customers. The next one is delivery of goods. The last function of the warehouse is again very important, as it is responsibility to safely deliver of goods to the customers, because the reason is that from the warehouse the product has to be delivered to the customer, without that you cannot consume. So when delivering, the product should be in a safe manner and there should be a proper packing and etc. Once the consignment is ready to dispatch, the keepers will check the related document for the last time and then the consignment loaded to the transport. So this is another great function where they deliver the product in time with the proper tag on it, with proper order number and proper specification. In conclusion, we have talked about what is the logistics process or happening in the logistics segment, and what is the place of your warehouse, that is the storage in the logistic process, and what are the different kinds of functions of your warehouse and how the site selection has to be happen, what are the functions of your warehouse, how it helpful to the customer, manufacturer and as well as the transportation department to deliver the product in time efficiently. Thank you.